Hi everyone, and welcome along to my epic health and fitness goals setting session. First of all, Happy New Year, and I hope you're all doing awesome. I hope that 2018 has gotten off to a really great start for you, and I hope you're just feeling really well and you've had a fab week as well. Now, at this time of the year, you've probably noticed headlines stating things like a new year and a new you. And before we get into this goal setting session, I just wanted to say that it's important for you to understand that you're perfectly perfect and amazing as the person that you are now, and you do not need a whole new you. Okay, so you don't need to listen to all the headlines out there, but perhaps you are really set on achieving some health and fitness goals this year, and this is what this session's all about. So I'm going to help you set those goals, or if you've already set your goals, I'm going to help you sort of take a closer look at them and check that they follow some important principles. So what we'll do is we will go over a widely known goal setting principle called the SMARTE principle. Okay, so this is really commonly used acronym for goal setting in sort of all parts of life, not just health and fitness. But then we'll also go into some lesser known principles, okay, which I think are just as important, if not more important, than the SMARTE principle. And finally, I'll take you through a few brief sort of next steps that you can take if you've already set your health and fitness goals. Okay, so let's get into it. So the very first principle that I want to cover is the main goal setting principle that you've probably heard of, which is SMART goal setting. Now, there's a few different sort of theories on this and what the different letters stand for. The one that I follow stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay, but I prefer to sort of take it a step further as well and add an E onto the end of that acronym. And that E stands for exciting and enjoyable. Okay, and to me that's the most important part of the SMART principle, because if you don't find your goal exciting and if you're not going to find it enjoyable, then the chances of you actually, exercising regularly enough or sticking to it long enough to achieve a result are a lot more slim. Okay, so I've got a bit of a visual here, which hopefully you can see all right. Oh, hang on, where's my camera? There it is. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, exciting, and enjoyable. Okay, I guess I need to move that back. Oh, just trying to get used to the way this camera works. Okay, so the SMART principle is just about making your goal clearer, okay, giving it clarity. So also making sure that you've got some way of measuring it, okay, so some way of really knowing whether you've achieved that goal. Hey Carol, how are you? Good to have you here. So I'll just briefly go through what each letter in the SMART acronym means before we get into the next principles. Okay, so specific is about being really clear in your goal. Measurable is perhaps about giving it a number, some way to clearly measure and know what you're achieving. So if it's weight loss, that might be, saying exactly how many kilos you want to lose. Achievable, okay, that's taking into consideration everything that's going on in your life and where you are now, and sort of also the time frame that you set for that goal. Okay, so you can set yourself a big goal, but just make sure that the time frame that you allocate makes that goal achievable. Relevant, okay, now I want you to take into consideration everything that is going on in your life, and also what your overall sort of life goals and life purpose is, okay, because your goals for 2018 health and fitness need to be related to your overall purpose. Then we've got time bound. Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at the end of 2018, so sort of a year from now, and then we'll look at breaking the goals down into shorter term goals from there. And then finally, that last one that I like to add on, which is exciting. So make sure you can read your goal and that it excites you, and that you know you're going to find working towards it to be enjoyable. So I'll give you an example of a vague goal first of all, and then show you what it might look like once it's been put through the SMART acronym. Okay, so let's see if I can get that in front of the, oh, wrong way. This is so weird, this video. I turn it this way, but I think I'm turning it the other way. Okay, so the vague goal is I'd like to be stronger. Okay, once I've put it through the SMART principle, it comes out as by December 2018, I will be much stronger because I will be able to do 5 full push-ups on my toes with good technique. Okay, so you can see how that's a lot more specific. It explains exactly how the person's going to measure it. They're going to be able to do 5 push-ups. They need to be on their toes and have good technique, and that it's going to happen by December 2018. Okay, so that's sort of the basics on the SMART principle. So hopefully you've got a pen and paper and you're writing down maybe sort of 1 to 3 SMART goals that you want to achieve by 2018. And when you're thinking about them, I want you to think about the ways that perhaps you want to, the things that you want to be able to feel, the things that you want to be able to see, and the things that you want to be able to do. Okay, so you might have aesthetic type goals like weight loss, or you might have goals around things that you want to do, for example, jogging your first 5-kilometre event. All right, so that's the SMART principle. Just take a drink of water, otherwise I'm just going to be non-stop. Okay. So the next principles that I want to cover are ones that are a little bit lesser known than the SMART principle. And, you know, part of my motivation behind doing this live session today is that I have seen a few New Year's goals recently, this week in fact, and some of them have been very vague and have sometimes even taken away from what the person wants to achieve. Okay, so that comment brings me to the next principle that I want to cover, and that is that your goal must be written in positive language. Okay, so it must describe what you want to achieve, not what you're getting away from. Now, that doesn't mean that your goal can't be emotionally driven in a negative way. So perhaps you are avoiding some sort of pain in your life, and that's the real sort of emotional core reason behind your goal, and that's fine, and that's actually usually a stronger goal than the other side, which is when you're trying to seek pleasure, okay, when you're trying to move towards something. But when you're actually writing your goal out, or, you know, forming how it's going to look, you need to make sure that it's written in positive language. So one of the examples that I saw this week was something really vague, like I'm not going to stress this year. Okay, so try and, if you find your goal has been written about something that you don't want to do, or you don't want to see, try and rewrite it so that it's positive. So, you know, I don't want to stress could be rewritten as I'm going to feel calm and peaceful in my everyday life as a result of my new daily meditation practice, or something like that. All right. So next principle, lesser known principle, is that your goal needs to be important to you. Okay. Now you might think that this is really obvious, and you might say, well, I wrote my goal, of course it's important to me, but it's not often the case. What's sometimes not the case. So an example might be perhaps your spouse has accidentally said a couple of comments here and there about your weight. So subconsciously you may have formed a goal in your head of like, I'm going to lose weight this year, however much that may be. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that goal is important to you. You need to stop and think, is that what you really want, or is that what your husband or your partner actually wants? Okay, if it's not really important to you, then you're probably not going to go through the planning and the preparation, and just all the actions that are going to be needed to actually get you to that goal, and you might wind up feeling a bit disappointed later. So give your goal that check as well, check that it is important to you. Another example I see is that someone will enter a 5-kilometre run event just because their friend is doing that. Okay, so if you do that, it doesn't, if you're doing that just because your friend is, then that goal is probably not important to you either. And again, the chances of you following through on that are much slimmer because you haven't been through the same thought process that your friend has. Okay, the third lesson on goal setting principle for success. So first of all, remember we went through the SMARTE goal, which is the really commonly known one. Second, we went through it must be written positively. Third, it must be important to you. The last one I want to cover is probably the most important, and that is the emotional driver behind your goal. Okay, so I call that understanding your why. Okay, so knowing why your goal is important to you. If you don't have a strong emotional connection to it, you are going to be much, much less likely to achieve it. And, you know, to me, this is far more important than the SMARTE goal. Now, the way that you figure out what your why is that you look at your goal, perhaps it is weight loss, and you ask yourself, why is that important to me? And then you ask yourself again, why is that important? And then probably again and again. Okay, so you may need to ask the question, why is my goal important to me? Perhaps 3 or 4 times before you are going to get to the real reason why it's important to you. Now, I'll give you an example. Okay, so this is an example of the answer that you might give. I'm going to go that way. How do I move it? Okay, I'll just look underneath. So the first time you answer your why question, you might get the answer, I want to lose weight so that I can feel fit and healthy. Okay, so that's might be a valid reason why, but it's really very generic, and you know that answer and that goal could belong to anyone. So then you ask yourself again, and you ask yourself again. Okay, now the second or third or fourth time that you ask yourself why your goal is important to you, well, I'm really not learning with this, am I? Up, across, that way. Okay, here we go. It's really hard to practice because this is a live video, so this is my practice. So this might be the second answer that you might give yourself. I want to lose weight because when I had the heart scare a few weeks ago, I was terrified that my kids might grow up without a dad. I felt terrible that I would play a role in that outcome by failing to look after my health. Okay, so that's much more powerful stuff, isn't it? If you've got a reason like that, you are going to be so much more driven to achieve your goal. Okay, those mornings where you feel like you don't want to get up, but you just want to skip that morning exercise session. If you can, see that you've written down your reasons why you want to achieve your goal, or maybe they're just ingrained into your head, you're going to be much more likely to get up and to push yourself, to move forward and to do that session. Okay. So those are the goal setting principles I wanted to cover. So we've done the SMARTE principle, writing in positive language, making sure your goal is important to you, and really understanding your why, which is your emotional driver, either your pain avoider or your pleasure-seeking reason behind your goals. Okay, now the next steps, once you've actually set those goals, are the steps I'm going to go through more in detail in my next Facebook Live. Okay, so the next steps, if you're ready to try and get started, I'm not going to go into them in detail right now, but you need to decide on the barriers, the things that are going to hold you back from achieving your goals, and you need a bit of an intervention strategy for when things don't go to plan, okay, because they're not always going to go to plan. You also need to break down your goals. So we've talked today about where you want to be by the end of 2018. So that's sort of a long-term goal. You want to break that down to where you want to be in 6 months' time, in 3 months' time, and then in 1 month's time. Okay, from there, you're going to break down to weekly targets and then daily actions or daily habits that are going to help you reach those weekly targets, and then that month goal, because it really is just one small step at a time is what's going to get you there. Okay, apart from that, you're going to need to learn about the planning and preparation that you need to go through to achieve your goals. And we're going to talk about this again next time, but you need to understand your personal success principles, okay? So for some people that might be having a buddy to work out with, and for others that might be journal writing daily. So they're sort of the more superficial things than something like really understanding your why, but they are still going to help drive you and push you forward to achieve your goals. Now, an important principle for goal setting success is around support. You know, making sure that you've got supportive people in your life, and that's where someone like me can come in. So I know that it's really easy to start off well with best intentions and then fall off the wagon for whatever reason. And I know that life is busy. I know most people out there lead busy lifestyles, and it's really hard to find the time to fit in exercise or understand how to fit exercise in amongst a busy lifestyle. And I also know that delicious temptations can waft in from the bakery every day. And so just put it this way, I understand what your guys' challenges are. I've asked you, and I go through them myself as well. So I definitely understand. I also know that, you might want your own personal trainer or your own one-on-one coach, but that sometimes it's just not in your budget. So that's why this year I've developed a brand new group coaching program, which is going to just give you all the support, all the skills, all the tools that you need to set yourself up for effective goal setting, and then to actually achieve and keep those goals, so that when you get to the end of 2018, you really do feel amazing. You feel like it's been your best, your healthiest and your fittest year yet. And, with group coaching as well, you get that community vibe that you often miss with one-on-one. So with the group coaching, it is a brand new program. It's just about to enter the beta testing phase, which just means that I'm looking for a small group of people who are really keen to keep their health and fitness goals this year, who are willing to share their goals with others, share their wins, share their challenges, and to help me shape the program to make it the best that I possibly can for you, so that when I release it to the masses halfway through this year, sort of in the latter part of the year, that it's everything that you want it to be. Okay, so the beta testing group is going to run throughout February and March, and so I'm taking people on for that now. It's over 8 weeks of group coaching, and I'm offering a price that I will never ever offer again. Okay, so I'm offering it for $17 per month, so a total of $34 just for the month of February and March. So literally that's about the price of, say, 7 coffees. Okay, so I hope that I've been able to create a more affordable solution for those of you who want one-on-one coaching, but it's just not in your budget. Okay, so I'll never ever again offer that discount, and so it's about 60% off what the regular monthly price is going to be, and it's the absolute best time to join because the group's going to be the smallest, so you will get so much sort of one-on-one help. So I'll be able to check all your goals individually and help you day by day, step by step, to get the plan that's actually going to make you achieve them and maintain them and make sure that your results are sustainable. Okay, if you guys know anything about me, I'm not about fads or quick fix solutions. I see a lot of them out there on the internet, and along with my other fellow fitness professionals like Carol, who's watching here, we're really on a mission just to help people, with real life health and fitness, not something that's just going to drop a dress size and then make you put all the weight back on and more, or make you feel low on energy because you're depriving yourself of actual nourishment and things that your body needs. So as I said, with the program, I just want you to be able to get to December 2018 and feel like you've got this amazing supportive community backing you, and that you really have had your fittest and healthiest year ever. Now, if you want to learn more about that, just pop a comment down below the video, or send me a personal message, and I'll let you know more details. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've gotten value out of this goal setting session, and I would really love to hear what your goals are, health and fitness goals are for this year. So feel free to pop them down in the comment section or send them to me personally, and I'll be happy to check whether they follow those goal setting principles we talked about, or help you to get them to the stage where they do. So that brings me to the end of this Facebook Live. Like I said, I'm planning on doing one more Facebook Live before the group on 1st of Feb, and then my live sessions are going to be dedicated to that group for the next 2 months. So the next one that I'll bring to you sometime between now and the 1st of Feb, maybe in about a week's time, is going to be around those next steps that you can take. So we'll go more into detail about the success principles, the planning and the preparation that will lead you to success. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.